What's going on, everybody? So I'm going to be out of town next week, which I guess doesn't really affect anything here, but it means I'm going to be missing the Fast and Furious movie, the Little Mermaid screening, Joyride. It's a bad time to take a trip, even though it's for work. So I was thinking what I should do, and I thought I should go revisit some pain and talk about the 2017 Oscars, aka Moonlight versus La La Land. Now, if you know me or you've been a fan of the channel for a while, you know that I hold La La Land very close to my heart, okay? I like it so much that I genuinely feel bad for those who don't like it, and I try to pride myself on not being pretentious on this channel, but I'm just going to say that. I feel bad for you if you don't like La La Land. That's the most pretentious thing I'll ever say again. But the thing is, during the 2017 Oscars, this whole ceremony, I didn't follow the Oscars like this. I was aware of it. I was certainly aware that La La Land and Moonlight were these big awards movies. I had seen some of those movies here, but I certainly didn't follow it like I did now. Obviously not. That'd be insane. And all I have to say is, thank God. Thank God. Can you imagine? I don't think y'all would be able to handle me if I was reacting live like how I am now to this ceremony, okay? With La La Land being announced as the Best Picture winner after all these record-breaking numbers, only for it to actually be Moonlight at the end, I truly don't know what I would have done. Now, fortunately for me, even though obviously I think La La Land is the best movie here, it was my favorite movie that year, like obviously, if it had to lose, I'm glad it was Moonlight, okay? Moonlight is also incredible. I love it. So I guess that is one bright spot there, but I really don't know how I would have reacted. I lost my mind when Everything Everywhere won everything, and that was like kind of expected. So if La La Land was first announced as a winner and then removed, I really don't know how I would have reacted. My fiance likes to bring that up to me sometimes, and my brain short circuits a little bit because I don't know how I would have reacted. But I guess with that, we're going to go through the above the line categories of that Oscars, just kind of talk about it necessarily. I'll maybe give my opinions. I don't know. So let's start with Best Picture. So god damn, look at that shit. Oh, that's tough. That's tough to see. So Moonlight wins Best Picture. As I said, it won the Globe Drama and that was it, but it was nominated everywhere. The good thing about Moonlight was it was the clear number two, where a lot of times, especially in recent years, it feels like there isn't a clear number two, or at least it's not clear until the Oscar ceremony starts. Moonlight was the clear number two pretty much throughout. So there are 9 movies in Best Picture, and honestly, I like this lineup. You know, I don't love every single movie here, but I certainly like a lot of them. You know, La La Land, Manchester, and Moonlight, and Arrival, actually. That's my favorite 4 out of here, and just saying that out loud, Jesus Christ, what a good ass year. I already talked about La La Land. I already talked about Moonlight. I think Arrival is absolutely amazing. It is fantastic. Y'all know I love Denis Villeneuve. And that movie, especially on second watch, really hit me in a way that I was not expecting. And Manchester by the Sea might be like the most low-key devastating movie. And not even low-key, honestly. It's just the most devastating movie I've seen in a while. But it's also not like a dreadful watch. You know, when I say that, some people are like, I don't want to go through that. It's not like a dreadful watch for me, though, and I think Casey Affleck's performance is incredible. And then after that, you just have some, like, pretty solid movies, you know? Like, Fences is solid, Lions solid, Hacksaw Ridge, give or take your preference on that, Hell or High Water solid, Hidden Figures solid. Like, it's a pretty good line. And when you go through it, only 2 movies were nominated everywhere, Moonlight and Manchester by the Sea. Once again, no complaints about that. La La Land won everything, pretty much. If it was nominated, it won. It won the Globe Comedy Musical. In fact, it did not lose a single award. It won Critics' Choice. It won BAFTA. It won the coveted PGA. And Moonlight only won the Globe Drama, and Hidden Figures won SAG. And I guess you can say La La Land technically won Best Picture for a little bit, and then Moonlight came in. But hey, that's fine. Moonlight is still a very good Best Picture winner. I take that back. It's a great Best Picture winner. If you think I'm going to come on here to dunk on Moonlight, that's just not what's going to happen. It's just I prefer La La Land more. Sorry, but that's what it is. Then in terms of what was also on the cutting room floor, honestly, it felt pretty secure for what these movies were from what I remember. Obviously, there's a bunch of Globe nominations just because of how they do it. I mean, I want to point out Deadpool, which got a Globe and PGA nomination. So, I mean, hello. My beloved Sing Street. I absolutely love Sing Street. That movie is fucking fire. Got a Globe nomination. Honestly, I don't remember anything really being like, uh-oh, watch out for this one here. Watch out. So, good Best Picture lineup. I prefer La La Land, but it's Moonlight, you know? Hello. Best Director, not much to talk about here. This was a sweep, and it wasn't really close. I mean, I guess you could theoretically make a case that Barry Jenkins was the next up, just because it won Best Picture, but this was just a no-brainer. I mean, you see La La Land, and how could you not? Such a directory fucking movie. Mel Gibson was nominated after getting a Globe Critics' Choice. Barry Jenkins is nominated. He got everything except the BAFTA nomination. Kenneth Lonergan from Manchester got everything, and Denis Villeneuve got everything except the Globe. And I do want to point out the bigger picture here. We haven't had a Chazelle Jenkins kind of rematch. And I know I'll get the comments, oh, stop putting art against each other. I'm just so tired of hearing that shit, yo. Like, it's not that deep, all right? But also, we haven't had Chazelle and Jenkins again, because if Beale Street and First Man came out, both great movies in my opinion. I prefer Beale Street in terms of First Man, but both very good movies. That was pretty much ignored for the Academy, just overall. Then Barry Jenkins has went off to do some other things. Chazelle has really taken his time with movies. Obviously, Babylon just came out. Barry Jenkins is now working on the Lion King 2, the Mufasa prequel thing for Disney. No clue about that. I'm inclined to believe that'll be a good movie. Just that's how much I respect and love Barry Jenkins, but it does make me nervous that he's making that. So I don't know if we'll ever get something like that again, but they will forever be tied to each other. Like La La Land and Moonlight, they will forever be tied to each other, and I think that's kind of fucking hilarious. Other than that, not much here that was a true contender. I do want to point out Tom Ford for Nocturnal Animals. Going through this, I cannot believe how much Nocturnal Animals got in the precursors. I was like, what the I don't remember this. I remember some stuff, but like, goddamn. Let's move to actress. Couple things to note here. One, Emma Stone wins for La La Land after winning everything except Critics' Choice, which Natalie Portman got. Those are some nice nominations, but you see down there, Amy Adams for Arrival just snubbed after getting nominated everywhere. That's a nomination that you still see people talk about to this day, especially on Twitter. People are still very upset about that snub, and I get it. Because what the fuck? She misses out along with Annette Bening in 20th Century Women. Emily Blunt, I don't even remember this. The Girl on the Train got a SAG and BAFTA nomination. I remember seeing that movie and not liking it at the time. I don't know. Maybe I need to rewatch that again, but I was surprised to see that. You see some other stuff, but really, Amy Adams is definitely the big story here outside of Emma Stone winning. Now, there was some case of category fraud, not in this category, but in another category with someone moving to supporting, where they thought they should have been lead, but they didn't want to compete with Emma Stone. I'll kind of just leave that out there. That's all I've heard about that, but regardless, Emma Stone wins. That's my girl right there, okay? Y'all know I love Emma Stone. Obviously, I love La La Land. You're not going to hear me talk about this at all. I know some people are like, no. Cry about it. Cry harder. Best Actor, Casey Affleck wins in what is one of the few actual deserved Best Actor winners of the past 10 plus years. He won everything except SAG, which went to Denzel Washington. I know there was some of those allegations against him during this time from what I remember. So some people were like, I guess just in a vacuum, if you just, I don't know, if you just look at it performance-wise, that is the best to me. It's really not close. I think that's one of the best performances of the past decade. This lineup was also pretty set. Andrew Garfield got everything. Ryan Gosling won everything. He won a Globe for comedy musical. Viggo Mortensen basically got everything except a Critics' Choice, and Denzel Washington got everything except BAFTA because he's never gotten a BAFTA nomination still. Other than that, Joel Edgerton and Loving got the most, but then it's like, okay, Colin Farrell in The Lobster, that's like not gonna happen. Jake Gyllenhaal in Nocturnal Animals, a BAFTA. Tom Hanks and Sully, Jonah Hill, Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. Those are just kind of whatever, but this lineup felt pretty set, and there was really no surprise here. I know some people after Denzel won SAG was like, could this happen? And then it didn't happen. Supporting actress, another lineup that was pretty much locked from the beginning, but Viola Davis sweeps. She wins for Fences. This is one that I remember people saying she should have been lead because she is the lead, but she moved to supporting and she swept. You can knock the lack of competition and spirit in that, but I'm sure Viola Davis is happy with an Oscar because at least the way the ceremony went, if Viola Davis went in lead, I don't think she beats Emma Stone. So now we're both happy because Viola Davis is incredible in Fences. Naomi Harris in Moonlight, also fucking incredible. That movie, that fucking performance. Jeez. She gets nominated everywhere. Nicole Kidman in Lion gets nominated everywhere. Michelle Williams, Manchester by the Sea, gets nominated everywhere. And then Octavia Spencer gets nominated for a Globe and SAG. Janelle Monáe down there also got a Critics' Choice. In fact, over Octavia Spencer, but they went with Octavia Spencer. Other than that, not much competition there. Fair enough. Supporting actor. I kind of forgot that this wasn't just a clean sweep for Mahershala Ali for Moonlight, which I know looking back on it now seems kind of ridiculous because, of course, he should have won. That is fantastic. I love it. Who doesn't like that performance? Who doesn't like Mahershala Ali? He was nominated everywhere, but only won Critics' Choice and SAG, but yet everyone kind of knew he was going to win the Oscar. Jeff Bridges nominated everywhere. Lucas Hedges gets nominated. Dev Patel was also nominated everywhere. In fact, he won the BAFTA, which is a little reminiscent of Barry Keoghan this year, over Ki Hua Kwan, which was just kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, that has to be just a BAFTA thing. And Michael Shannon gets that last slot in Nocturnal Animals after getting just a Critics' Choice nomination. Now, that part is a little weird because if you look down there, Aaron Taylor Johnson in Nocturnal Animals won the Globe. That is like on some Jodie Foster and the Mauritanian type shit where everyone's like, what the hell just happened? But the Globes really like Nocturnal Animals. In fact, I'm surprised it didn't get a Best Picture nomination at the Globes because it got a lot. And he was also nominated at BAFTA. So that was kind of one of those deals where Michael Shannon kind of flips over him. Other than that, Hugh Grant was actually nominated at a decent amount. He was nominated at the Globes, but that was in Best Actor, Comedy Musical. Then he got a SAG and BAFTA for supporting, but he misses out. Weird stuff, but this was just a weird Oscar year, honestly, in terms of everything that happened with category placements and movement and obviously the ceremony. But Mahershala Ali absolutely deserved. You're not going to see me complain about that. Original screenplay Manchester by the Sea wins. It tied Critics' Choice with La La Land and it won the BAFTA. It was nominated everywhere. 20th Century Women gets that lone screenplay nomination that we tend to see a bit. Other High Water nominated everywhere. La La Land obviously won the Globe because it didn't lose, and like I just mentioned, it tied. And then The Lobster gets in with a Critics' Choice nomination. And then I, Daniel Blake was just nominated for a BAFTA, and then Loving got a WGA nomination. But that'll transition us into Adapted because Moonlight was nominated everywhere but in the original category. It was only when the Academy stepped in and said, actually, Moonlight was technically adapted from an unproduced play or something like that, they removed it from original and moved it to adapted. In fact, the same was about Loving, where Loving was competing in original, but then the Academy determined it to be an adapted. So with Moonlight switching to adapted kind of last minute, it wins adapted after winning the WGA, but it won WGA in the original category, which is why you also see Arrival winning WGA. Lion won the BAFTA, so it was all over the place because with Moonlight and original, there was just an opening for someone to take adapted. And you can see down there, Jesus Christ, Nocturnal Animals was nominated everywhere for screenplay, and then it misses out. You can argue that Moonlight moving into adapted would kick out something, and I guess it happened to be Nocturnal Animals. Deadpool also got a WGA, Hacksaw Ridge at the BAFTA, Sully was just liked by Critics' Choice. Very odd categories here. So as I kind of talk about it, it's a little messy. Viola Davis in supporting instead of lead. Moonlight switching to adapted last minute. Amy Adams getting snubbed. Casey Affleck allegations. La La Land just running the table this whole award season only to lose literally at the finish line. The whole mishap with the Oscars. An incredible time. There is a part of me that does wish I had this channel back then. Because even with the Will Smith slap, which I had the video on, like that was just so weird in the moment. That wasn't fun. That wasn't like a fun thing to talk about. So this was an insane year, but honestly, like this was a very good year. A very good year for movies. La La Land has a place in my heart, but Moonlight has the official place in the history books. It's a great Best Picture winner. Now, if we could have gotten Sing Street into the Best Picture lineup, then we'd really be talking,